All right. Uh-oh, still here. I'm here too. Thanks for clicking on the thumbnail. I hear the thumbnails are all the rage nowadays. But we're not here for fancy thumbnails. We are here to spend a day in the shop together. I'm gonna take you to work with me. A day in the life. I think this is gonna be like 8:41. We're gonna learn things and have fun. We're gonna try to see if we can get people back on the road and make enough money to keep the lights on. Whew, frustrating day yesterday. Hopefully today's better. We're here to celebrate auto repair. To learn things, have fun, see what we can get done each day, make it as productive as possible. Sometimes you have people kind of trying to put broomsticks in your spokes while you go by on your bike. And you just learn how to deal with that. Because one thing I've learned in this business, you're never going to stop that from happening. It always feels that way. Even when you're having a good week, you'll feel like it could have been better because of the way you're paid in the system that they use for mechanics. But. So yesterday we got this transmission mostly in. I got it bolted up at least. So we got some more work to do, of course. The rest of the drivetrain's still missing. We got everything we need to do it. I had to drill out the sway bar. If you saw yesterday's video, sway bar bolt broke because I was trying to be a wise guy and show you how my 1/2 inch was so much stronger than the little 3/8. Snapped it right off. But we drilled it out. No big deal. You guys want to see the carnage from that in case you didn't see yesterday's video yet? This is the remnants of getting that out. So between all this, between this broken bolt and the flat repairs, we didn't get it done. It would have been done yesterday, except for the programming part, but we'll have it done today by lunch, I'm guessing. We'll do our best. So let's stop flapping our gums. Let's try to make it into a great day. Finish getting the shop open up and get started. Ooh, weather. Okay, 70 degrees. Gonna be high of 79. It's gonna stay pretty consistent today. I know it's snowing a lot. I see a lot of snow and ice and crazy stuff on the news. Hope everyone's all right up there. I know it happens every year, but everyone still acts like they're surprised when it does. Kind of like when we get a hurricane down here. Everyone's like, oh my God, what is this? You just heard of them? Let's finish getting this place open up and get started. Stay tuned. Before we start on that Silverado, I could use this in a project truck video too, but guess what this is? This is the upper plate to adapt airbags to the 62 C10. This bolts under the cross member where the spring pocket would normally be on a modern truck, but since I have torsion bars just flat with a few holes, I have to cut those holes out to fit this, bolt it up on the perimeter with these bolts, and I have my upper airbag mounts, and I have lower control arms coming. These cups mount to the cross member, and these clamps hold the lower control arm to these cups, and they bolt through to the cross member, and these bolts actually locate the shaft that the control arm is mounted on. So, and I got a cool hole saw set. It was on a Cyber Monday special. In case I need it. I have some, but I don't have a full set. If I need to make a hole for an airline or something, this is an inexpensive set. It's like 50 bucks, 1,200 bucks on a Snap-on truck. Just kidding. But super cool. Replacement guide drills, replacement springs and Allens, and these are sharp. Probably shouldn't pull them up by the drill bits. If your hand slips, it's going to cut you. That's why I was pretty careful, but still stupid. It's got a metal cutting bits. This is a pilot bit drill, and then this will get you to your size, 14 millimeter, all the way up to 2 1/8. Should come in handy for the next project. It's got its own little case. What more do you need? Alright guys, it's getting serious now. These top 2 bolts and the mess that's up there, I don't do it halfway and leave stuff off. I would save a half hour if I did, but I'm going to spend 20-30 minutes getting these 2 bolts in, getting the brackets all in place, getting the 13s on it. I dropped the dipstick in, tighten the 13 on that, And once I get the bell housing bolts done, then it should go pretty quick. Alright, I don't know if you can see it up there, but we got it. I got to do the top one that's right in the center. That's the fuel line bracket. Now I got to do the vent hose bracket. Use this slot and an extension. Now you got to keep in mind too, there's also a wiring harness up here. And once I get the nut on it, you see that little wiring harness? That's got to go on after the nut holds the bracket. Bolt this back bracket down after we get the top done. About 15 minutes in it so far. It's all part of the adventure. I gotta somehow get that wiring harness thing on the stud. I'm gonna figure that out. I'll show you. Got it. See it up there? I just stand on my little thing, get my head up in there, and get my little T-Rex arms to reach. But we got it. It's one of these. This is one of those jobs that I see a lot of people go, that's 3 hours worth of work. What are you doing? Taking too long. I want to see if all that stuff's put back. First, I want to see them do it in 3 hours. Then, I want to see if everything's put back where it goes. I know some of you guys can do it because you're awesome. Now, since that was the alignment hole we discussed yesterday, I should be able to just zip them all in. I still don't like doing it, but I'm going to try it. We'll see how it goes. If it backfires, I'll let you know. I did put a drop of thread lock on each of these bolts too, by the way. I'm not a thread lock fan, except converter bolts and things like that. They do come loose, you'll know pretty quick. Because when you put it in park or in drive, the little clack, 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 clack noise will change. I watched a video the other day of a guy, he said 3 shops couldn't figure out what this noise was. It turned out to be loose converter bolts. Like, that's one of the easiest noises to diagnose of all of them. But this is the first bolt I'm back on, double check it. Because sometimes the converter's not sitting flat on the flywheel, you're not really sure. So I like to go to the first bolt last. And get the starter in there. Cooler lines, I might even get the transfer case on and get the motor back up on the mount before doing the cooler lines to make sure everything's not all bound up. Because this doesn't look like the most reliable. I guess they are. I don't know. I'll just feel better about it if everything falls into place nicely. Shifter cable. I got to get the 10 in here. This goes like this. And there's all kinds of cautions. Do not use an impact or electric tool to do that. Tighten by hand only. So, that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to get in trouble. Get my hand ratchet for this lever. Take a look at that. Boy, I don't know if they got me the gasket for the transfer case yet. Dang it. They said the customer wants to know when the Silverado is going to be done. Did you get me the gasket yet? Oh, I'll be right back. That is good stuff. Infiniti. Customer put all ABS sensors and stuff in it, but the ABS light's still on. We'll come back to the Silverado. Look at this beauty. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Got the glittery steering wheel cover. Can't get the hood open. Got ABS light on, got a check engine light on, got a lot of lights on. Got the battery box not properly put back. That's alright, don't worry about that stuff. ECM set up for the radiator cooling system and the radiator ruptures. Keeps it cool. Let's get in. The wiper blades are trash. I looked at that real quick already. Gives me a rough idea of what we're dealing with. And we're going to get in there with the scanner. It's hopped on. Phoenix Light 2 up and running again. Happy to have it back. We'll see what we got for codes and send a report and go from there. Currently unavailable. I don't see a check engine light. They wanted a check engine light check. Maybe I'll see if the bulb works. I don't know. It's good. It's the final countdown. I'm gonna give this thing a 3. It's on the struggle bus. 2017 QX30 luxury sport SUV. Instead of babbling, I'll just wait and we'll come back and see what the codes are. It's gonna take a minute. Probably gonna have, I'm gonna guess 16 codes. Anybody want to guess? Of course, some of them may have been cleared remotely. Some they've been trying to fix it, so we'll see. All right, we got 2 ECM codes, 2 anti-lock codes, 3 AC, 1 transmission, 3 audio video, 1 automatic driving position. Then we got some gateway, inverter, telematics, fuel system, door codes, parking assist codes. So we got a fuel rail system pressure code, engine oil pressure control code, configuration of ESP control unit, current. So I'm going to send them the report. I'm going to research a couple of these important codes like the fuel rail pressure, engine oil pressure control, the configuration code, which is what they really came in for in this ABS light. And we will see. The rest of the codes I don't think are going to be a big concern. Some of these power supply circuit codes, that could be. Control module, current, inverter, parking assist codes, all in the past. The parking assist, if the ABS isn't working, parking assist isn't going to be great. So let's do that. I'll do a little research here. We'll come back so we don't look totally lost like we are. We don't want to look it though. Well, our pertinent codes all come back to the ABS module, which they call an electronic stability program control unit. It says to try to do a configuration learn. I don't have configuration learn in here, but I do have calibration of acceleration sensor. It's on a level ground. It's got to be level for 30 seconds before you start the test. Completed. See if it has any current codes. We'll go back, clear those codes, see if they stay away. Read fault codes. Might turn the key on and off too. So we'll do a clear fault code. Turn the key off. Wait about 10 seconds. Turn it back on. Read fault code. That means they're hard faults and they come right back current. The flow chart does say to do a configuration learn, and if that doesn't work, replace the unit. Now, I have to find out some history on this car. Maybe someone's already tried that. Maybe it wasn't programmed correctly. But it doesn't say anything about programming in the data that I could find on it. Let me see if I can find a little more. Oh, online programming configuration. Whoa. Let's try that. It's like anything else that's unfamiliar territory. You're kind of training yourself while you try to figure out what's wrong with the car. And you get an hour to do it, so you just knock it out. Swing for the fences, that's what I'm saying. Get it sorted out. Worst case scenario, we'll send it over to Ivan. I watched him do that BMW convertible top. I'm just like, you know, and I'm gonna say, I gotta say, as a flat rate mechanic, what he did is impressive, but it's not impossible. It's not, anyone given enough time and patience should be able to figure it out. I think he spent about 16 hours. He said 3 days on and off, so 16 hours to figure it out. So if you have a customer with a convertible top problem, you tell them I need 16 hours to figure it out, what do you think the normal response usually is? Are you crazy? So let me finish letting this thing run instead of flapping. We'll come back. Clear DTC. Yeah, they come right back. Although It doesn't say how many codes there are. I would think it would have said 2 if there was 2 or more. The oil pressure code, control code, apparently does have a lot of problem with the wiring harness inside the oil pan. It has a multi-stage pump that has low pressure, high pressure, by how it cycles a solenoid, or either the solenoid's on or off. I'm not sure how this system works exactly, but it has ways to control variable oil pressure. And the harness goes bad inside the oil pan. Apparently it's available. To diagnose it, we can look at oil pressure and see if it's locked into the high pressure side. If it was low pressure, it'd probably be really bad for the engine. If it's locked into high pressure, it just hurts your gas mileage. They do all that complicated stuff, try to get you that 10th or so miles to the gallon more. And then the fuel pressure codes didn't come back that I'm aware of. Let me see here. Subfunction not supported. Fault report. Engine oil pressure control, that one came right back. Okay, and the 748 did not, only a 746, and this inverter control module code came back. So those 3 are hard faults. I'm gonna have to get more time to see how much they want to mess with all this stuff, because I've got my hour in research and testing and development, stuff like that. So we'll see what happens with this, if we're going to go any further with it. I got another ticket, a Dodge Caravan or something, that the customer says the temperature gauge seems to read hot. 74,907 miles on this here Dodge Caravan. I think it's like a 16 or 17 or something like that. We'll see. I'll show it in a second. Whew, man, they smoke a lot. You can. Whew. I see antifreeze. They said it's about it getting hot. It's not getting hot right now. Maybe it has a leak. I'm gonna have to do a pressure test, I suppose. I'm gonna leave this door open because, man, it smells like I smoked a cigarette in here. I looked at this car about 6 months ago for something. I'm not sure what's gonna happen with whatever I find now. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it has like an oil cooler leaking coolant, or maybe a small leak in one of the hoses. This has a lot of, I think it has rear air. So it's going to have a lot of stuff going on, with potentially a plastic T that's cracked or something. I have to look really carefully. Let's scan it for codes. See why the check engine light's on. It could say something about over temp. If it intermittently gets hot from running low on coolant, and they add it, so they temporarily fixed it. If it is, I looked around under the hood real quick, and if it is a leak, it's not a real bad one. It must be real slow. I've even seen these with bad head gaskets, so hopefully that's not the case, but we'll see. We don't make stuff break, we just figure out what broke, hopefully. Oh, we got some codes. I'll send a report and we'll take a look and see what they look like. And since my latest update, it seems a little glitchier. It's kind of strange. This is the second time it's locked up trying to send a report. Give it a couple more minutes and see if it finds itself. If not, I'll have to restart it again. I've restarted it on the Infiniti, so that's kind of sketchy. I'll have to let them know I'm having a problem with that. I wonder if other people are. It's not our Wi-Fi. We got a good solid Wi-Fi up here on top, just sitting there saying sending. I do have on occasion where it'll take a minute or so, but this has been, I went out and looked around for a coolant leak. I took the engine cover off. I don't see anything going on under there. Maybe I'll put it on the drive-on rack. This thing's really hard to lift. It's a wheelchair van. It's really hard to lift because of the way the chassis is configured for all that stuff. The floor's lowered and all. Sometimes you can't even fit them on the drive-on lifts. I think I'll have to restart the scanner too. I haven't even looked to see what the codes were yet, but I'm guessing they'll be temperature related by the coolant. Did I already say that? I might have. Alright, restart. Alright, that time the report went right through. Whoop. I hit send, bang, jink, bang. Now I opened it up. We got an evap small leak. And we got thermostat rationality. So, one thing I did notice, taking a look in his overflow bottle, it looks like mixed green and orange coolant in there. Kind of muddy, gets kind of weird looking. So I don't know what he's putting in there, but the thermostat rationality code, yeah, it's hard to tell if that's gold or yellow or green, but it's probably gold or yellowish instead. But it's supposed to take the orange stuff. This stuff will work too for Ford and Chrysler. You can use the gold. I don't like to mix them though. If it looks orange, I'm going to put Dexcool in it. If it looks gold, or I can't really tell what color, then I put the gold stuff in it. But the thermostat rationality code might be putting on a check engine light, and he's added coolant to the overflow, thinking it was going to fix something. But if the radiator's low and there's a leak, it generally won't pull coolant in from the overflow bottle, because it needs the system to be able to hold a vacuum. As the engine cools, it'll draw coolant off out of the overflow into the engine. So it's one of those things where if you have a leak, it's a shame, but you can't just put it in the overflow. It may not go in the radiator. You have to put it in the radiator itself. Of course, it can't be hot because there's pressure, and you open that cap when it's hot and there's pressure, bad stuff happens. So you don't want to do that either. That's when you take it to your friendly neighborhood making it work mechanic, and they'll take care of it for you and tell you what's going on. And I think we'll be pursuing the thermostat code, which is normally a thermostat 19 out of 20 times. If you have a sensor problem, or you have coolant migration into the sensor wiring, it can also kind of make it do weird things with temperature readings and think it's the thermostat when it's really that connector. I've seen that too, so we'll have to take a look underneath. Oh, someone's doing an oil change on the alignment rack, so that'll have to wait. We got time, don't worry about it. No pressure. Temperature, oil temperature, engine speed. Since we got that evap code, I brought up the ESIM, evap system integrity monitor. All that means is when it's testing the system, it wants to see the switch change state. So if it introduces engine vacuum and it wants to test the system, that switch should be able to change state. It has a little plunger in it that sees pressure and vacuum, and a lot of these will test the system with the engine off when it's cooling at night. I want to see the tank pressure change and force the switch to move, and it's a real common failure. That's why I brought it up. But I'm keeping an eye on this temperature. Anything past about 225, 230, then we do have some kind of a temperature related problem. If the thermostat's not opening enough, it's very possible it could cause a slight overheating issue. But now I'm just killing time waiting for the alignment rack. I really would like to look underneath it. The fan picked up speed just a little bit and brought the temperature right back down, so it's not overheating at the moment. Well, I got good news. Looks like there's a crack in the thermostat housing, and that's the source of a leak. I don't know if you can see that on camera there, but can if I do a better job of filming. Right there. So that's going to take care of a thermostat code, a coolant leak. All we got to do is get a peek at the evap system now. The ESIM is a common failure on these, so is the gas cap. I'm going to make sure the purge valve isn't sticking first. But the ESIM is the most common culprit. I might have to get some extra time to pull the wheel liner out and take a look at that thing. I don't think this one's on the canister. I think it's in the wheel well. Found where they hid that little purge valve, and I already pulled the hose off and checked. It's not leaking any vacuum, at least not right now. It's not possible, it's not impossible that it intermittently will stick open a little bit and just bleed a little vacuum. Pull the evap system down when it's not supposed to, and that'll see that as a leak. See what happens with this one. Maybe I'll get back on the Silverado. Maybe I'll just wait. I'm not in a rush. It's not going to be done today now anyway, I'm guessing. I could. I was hoping to have it done before lunch and then work on this stuff, but I do whatever they needed me to do, honestly. Even if I bitch and gripe a little bit about it, I understand that, you know, they need something done, you do it. And they're the ones, when something's not done it was supposed to be, that they get yelled at. They might come give me grief, but I'll say, well, you stopped me, so can't give me too much grief. I did what you wanted, right? That's the thing. You just do what you gotta do. Feeding the starter in here while we wait a minute. I just gotta get something done. Do what I gotta do, baby. Come on now. Do what you gotta do. I got the plastic little dealio that goes under it in there too. Tighten nose up. There's a little 10 that goes in the Little underbelly plastic plate dealio. Then we gotta pop them 2 wires on up there, and there's a bolt in the heat shield. Two electrical connectors, and we're on to the next phase. There's also a little electrical booty you put on that connector too. So exciting, it's like Christmas morning. Heck yeah. Look at that son of a gun. Look what else came for it too. Apparently he decided to do the front brakes and a tune-up. So we got stuff for that too. And he brought me the parts. He said, "You can get this done today, right?" I said, "I don't know if I can work on it, maybe. I'm not making any promises." Gasket's on. All we gotta do now is make it fit up in that spot. See this little ear on the gasket? There's a little ear right here. That's what I went by, and it happened to work. It was just a guess, I guess. The bolts are spaced a little unevenly. Until like a year or so ago, I used to just heave these up, put them in. I don't feel like it.
Get a lot easier than that, does it, boys and girls?
It's probably not lit too good up there, huh? Let me give you a little light. I'm trying to make this into a professional operation. At least semi-professional.
It's showing 2 different heater hose assemblies, so maybe one is for if it has rear air, maybe, I don't know.
You might remember this breather hose was in my way, and I try to keep myself from putting it on until after I tighten these bolts. Oh, geez Louise, come on! What in the hell? It's a big giant nut. I can't get it to start in the threads. Come on! It's literally, the engineers are like, let's put it up there. That's gonna be funny. An actual engineering meeting conversation. You heard it here first. I'm letting you in on their secrets. Now, if that didn't look like fun and entertainment, there's nothing on YouTube for you. I'm gonna guess roughly 25, 30 foot-pounds. Something like that. Now, I'm going to get my little lug bracket up in here and some electrical connectors. Remember I said yesterday, sticker facing back on the mount, right? I'm going to put the front drive shaft in before the cross member. I have some paint marks. It's easier when I make it look. Tighten that strap clamp. A few bolts up in the front hoop. I got some up here. Here they are. It holds the drive shaft in, all 11 millimeter. They're usually little nuts. They're usually little nuggets or tabs that the U-joint cups sit in between. You gotta make sure you don't have it off center and tighten it up incorrectly, because then you'll get a vibration. But this is the front, so only do it in four-wheel drive. Third hand, look away for a moment. It's fixing to get ugly.
So Jimmy! Hello?
Yes, sir.
How about an Audi?
Absolutely. Sounds like a moneymaker. I'm surprised no one's wrestled you for it on the way out here.
Oh no, I know. Vehicle stalled while driving, won't start now, was told I need an alternator or battery.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Can I throw that up on your toolbox in there?
Sure. That helps.
Does, doesn't it?
It's over here, man. What are you doing? Don't worry, I'll crop that in. It'll look like it was staged in the studio. Be like Royalty Automotive. They make good videos, all kidding aside. Just messing around. People take a lot of stuff too seriously in this world, you know what I'm saying? You gotta laugh. You gotta have fun. You gotta live. You gotta live a little bit, you know? Life is short. I mean, honestly, life goes so fast. You younger people, man, make lots of memories and embrace the little things. Especially if you got young kids. Man, I wish I had that time back. Goes by so fast. I remember when I was working in on my 68 Firebird as a 16-year-old doing body work in the garage. It seemed like just a few years ago. That was 45 years ago. Next thing you know, you got kids in their early 30s. Goes by fast, what I'm saying. I'm towing in Mustangs and Audis and all kinds of crazy stuff. He said, Jimmy, Joe's going on vacation next week. I'm going to need to lean on you some more the next few days. You think you can have that Silverado done today? No? No, I don't. I could have. Matter of fact, if I worked on it the rest of the day, it would be done today. Guaranteed. Front brakes, that takes 30-40 minutes. Spark plugs and wires, 30-40 minutes. We got to get this thing programmed. That'll take longer than anything else. But if I'm not working on it, it's not happening. Pretty simple math, really. Can't break these. Take it easy, will you? I think I'm going to go look at that Audi before I get too deep in this, but I am going to put the cross member in first. Oh wait, no I'm not. I got to do the exhaust first, because otherwise you can't fit the exhaust in. I'll just go look at the Audi. I got to wash up. I got a pole jack and a training jack there. It's not going anywhere. You can feel confident knowing it. Smells like the alternator's been cooking. And it's not charging. I can hear the bearings on the alternator. See how the pulley's crooked? That's not good. Not a good look for the charging implementation device. This one here, she's a cream puff, 164,000 miles. Oil changeover due warning was on, battery lights on. Sunroof seen better days. We're going to give her a love rating of 3. And it needs an alternator. I will check fuses and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and shut it off and protect our jump box without touching the brake. We'll turn the ignition on. Take a look at some fuses. if they're all good, it's going to need a battery and an alternator. Alright, cross members in, exhaust is in there. I didn't tighten it yet. I've had a few distractions. I'm not gonna even film. If I'm not having fun, you won't have fun watching. So I just won't film some of them, that's all. That's what I have to do. What's up? Thank you. Some of you may know, but for those who might not, the right side flange is flat and has a gasket in it. The left side flange is a tapered seat that is adjustable and has some range of motion of the ocean kind of thing. I always tighten the one that's not an adjustable flange, and then the flanges that have a little more forgiveness we tighten afterwards. That's the purpose. I guess the engineering, it's hard to make them exact, so they must need a little bit of wiggle room on one of them. Looks like my battery finally gave up the ghost. It seemed to kick pretty hard too. Yeah. No, it's got two bars still. Why did it not work just then? Milwaukee junk. I can get snap-on. I get some snap-on stuff. Make a little threat cooperation. That's all it took. Plug in my O2 sensors. How about that? I probably should have done it before I took a drive. I did grab a 21 swivelly with all the other action going on. I figured might as well. I like to tighten this before I put the weight on it. I don't know why. I don't think it really matters. Another one of those things just makes me feel a little better. Like I went the extra mile. Huh. There you are. I knew they couldn't have been too far. Check the fluid in the transfer case. I didn't spill any, but I don't even know if there's any fluid in it. Who knows? Maybe someone serviced it and put fluid back in. I'm the guy that's going to find out. Cooler line brackets up. Clamp on the boot is tight. I got to tighten this clamp. I knew there was something else. It was a 14? It looks like a 13. Let's see. What do you guys think? Is it a 13? That's what I'm going to try. I took the battery out of that Audi. He doesn't have any money. He's going to bring his own battery. He needs the core. Take it back to AutoZone. I think we're going to do the alternator. I didn't get that part. I can't believe this bolt even turned in this clamp. Amazing. Amazing. Look at that. Tight. Gotta do the sway bar now. Gotta do our little contraption we came up with for that bolt. Got a little bit of Loctite on there. Just help the next guy out. I'm a giving kind of person. Now let's see if we can fish our bolts and nuts up in there. Oh, you know, I gotta put Loctite on this one. I got so anxious to get my customized bolt assembly in there that I didn't Loctite. I didn't I keep calling it Loctite? Anti-seize. Ooh, we don't want to Loctite this one. Anti-seize. My goodness gracious. Might not be the right length bolt, but we got more, don't worry. Let's see if it pokes through the top here at all. I'm going to go a 1/4 inch longer. A washer, a lock washer. A nut. I think the sway bars are 10s, except for that custom bolt. It's up here, man. What are you doing? Pay attention. There's no retakes. That's it. You only get one shot. What the head of that bolt's not too big. I'll have to get a special Allen head bolt or something if it doesn't clear. I am going to have to get some kind of a bananas. This right here. Probably not going to work. Worked just as I had expected it to. He's in there testing the battery to the Audi. It wouldn't go over 5 volts. I left it on charge for 2 hours and the charger kept tripping off. Wouldn't charge it. He's testing it out of the car now. I don't know what he's doing. Stop. Not doing anybody any good. Nobody wants to hear it. Nothing's going to change it. Oh, shouldn't say nothing. Should say only extreme measures are going to change it. Tell you what, that oil filter's been on there a while. What do you think? Well, we didn't want to do that right now. Spark plugs, wires, or brakes. I'm going to let them know this transmission is installed. Check the transfer case fluid. I got to check the fluid level, but they said not to even try to start it or try to drive the vehicle until the transmission is properly programmed. The wheel, this cart is about had it, I guess. These little detailing carts. I thought it was the coolest thing ever when I first got it, but the wheels are starting to go, and I don't know if this one's cracked or something, but yeah, it's cracked. It's too much weight. Gotta get another cart now. That's all right.
Where's the box?
The who?
Yeah, where's the box?
In the garbage.
He's saying that is this garbage?
No, the garbage inside by the sink. Show you what we're dealing with off camera here. It was a little bit of a fiasco, but I said, oh, it's only an hour and a half. I should be able to knock it out really quick. Well, that's not what happened. The connector's different. See that connector in there, the gray one? The black one, I mean. This is the car from last week, by the way. See that black connector, the shape of it and the size of it? That's the electrical wiring connector. This is the original one. Here it is. See the difference between the gray one and the black one? Now you would think it would plug in, but I cannot get this plug in. I'm wondering if I should force it. That's what I asked him. I said, I don't think it's right. I can get it halfway in and it stops. Do you want me to force it? And that's why he just came out and said, they said that's right at the parts store. I'm like, okay. So what do you want me to do? Is there an adapter? I don't know. That's why I didn't film it, because I'm already getting frustrated again. So I've been playing with it on and off for about 2 hours. Pays an hour and a half. And they're talking about setting record numbers and all, and got me fixed. Okay. Next. Transfer case, she's a full. I'm gonna let it down and check the transmission fluid level on the dipstick. Make sure it's over. It should be over full, you know, by a little bit, not a ton. When you start it up and run it, that's when you want to be at the full line or just below. And then we can get the fluid perfect. But you definitely want it a tiny bit over the full line before you first start it, because you're going to lose some fluid when it fills itself. This was running a dyno, so it has fluid in it though. Pretty good. Should be able to fire that up. Well, I'm not gonna. I gotta do the spark plugs. I'm gonna just nail the brakes first. Then we'll do the plugs and wires probably tomorrow. We'll see. It's almost 4 o'clock probably. I haven't gone to look. I'm gonna get something else done. Now these GMs, to me, they're easier to work on. They're, you know, even though they're having a lot of problems, just like everybody else nowadays, right? But all the wires are the same. All the spark plugs are the same. You know, I mean, a lot of vehicles don't even have wires. I guess you could say that's a negative, right? It depends on how you want to see it, I suppose. Pretty straightforward. The back one on this side's a little bit of a bear because they face backwards, and that one's kind of tucked in by the firewall. So I've got quite an assortment of extensions and stuff, so shouldn't be too bad. Back on the Nissan Infiniti a minute. We got a check engine light, which it didn't have when it first came in, remember? And the manager went and drove it, and it did stall. So here's the thing. It's not supposed to go below 58 psi on the low pressure system. And you can see it wants 1885 on the high, and it's coming up below that because this is about 10 psi lower than it's supposed to be, which means the volume is dropping off, and once it can't make enough volume to keep the pressure high, the pressure drops off. So this thing's got either a fuel pump or a fuel pump module problem. Normally if the module goes bad, it takes out the pump. If the pump goes bad, then usually just the pump is bad. So we got to see if they want to pinpoint that, figure out exactly which one is causing our problem. If I put a power and ground at the fuel pump, I'll be able to see if my voltage is low. The module, what happens, supposed to put out 13, 14 volts while the engine's running. Well, it might only put out 11 and a half, 9 volts, and that pump's just going, hey, I can't do my job. The problem is with an electric motor, when you run it at low voltage like that, it tends to damage the motor. So 95,000 miles Infiniti, it's done for. I just wanted to show you that real quick, that fact that it's already low. I was waiting to see if the orange line would drop off. This is the feed pump, like a diesel. It has the low pressure feed pump in the back, high pressure pump in the engine, for those of you who might not know. So he's working on getting the correct park release switch assembly for that Nissan. He goes, I'll just take this one out for you so you don't have to worry about it and you can focus on your other jobs. So I said, okay. And after like 20 minutes, he's like, how the hell do you get this out of there? I said, welcome to my world. Don't worry, it pays an hour and a half. We've only been working on it 2 hours so far. I tell them, but they don't listen. If you want to make good money and have a successful shop, you got to charge for your time. If you're giving stuff away to get work and undercutting things, it's not going to work out. I mean, you'll do okay. Whoop, something happened. Something happened. Let's record that. The low pressure came up, but it's still not coming up as high as it should be. It should be up here at 60, 58. So maybe it's because we're just out of the threshold. Very interesting. At least it's doing it now once in a while. That's cool. Maybe if I turn the camera on, it'll do it again. It's been about 15 minutes. It won't do it again. I mean, I know this is 10 psi below specification, so at this point she's gonna have to pay a lot of extra diag and things like that. It's gonna get expensive. It's not gonna be an easy diag. So I know this is bad, so we have a problem in the low pressure circuit. I had a weird, there's things going on in the high pressure circuit. Now, is that because of the volume on the low side? This is dropping off right now. Plunk. See, I turned the camera on. That's all I had to do. If the low pressure is below spec, but it's not cutting down before it dies. Now it's not starting. The high side's not picking up pressure. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna show them this recording and have them talk to her about being more accurate with diag and pinpointing. This is no good. 58 to 97 is specification, so I'd expect this to be in the 70s. Could that be causing the high pressure to shut down like that? And then it's a hard start afterwards. Very strange. So we'll see what happens. If they want to spend more time, I am perfectly willing to do that. Oh, I see why it broke down. I think on this Infiniti, the low side is not keeping up the volume the high side needs to make fuel pressure. So eventually it shuts down the high side. But I'm not sure. That's just what I think. And they're going to talk to them and see how much they'd like to spend today or tomorrow. I'm going to take the wheel liner out. I think go with these spark plugs and wires from here. I don't know why. I just feel compelled, like it'll be easier, especially with my situation with my arms. They don't really reach. Plus it's getting late in the day and I'm tired. So all I really need to do is take some screws out of here with the right size torque bit, see what we can get done. They must have had an abundance of torque screws. They're like, we gotta get rid of these things. They're everywhere. And they're like, how many screws are in them Silverado wheel liners? Like 6? We can go 12, 14 screws easy, maybe 16. All right, let's go 16. There's one every 3 or 4 inches all the way around. Once you're taking out that many, does it really matter if you take out 3 more? I think I'm kidding, right? There's like 5 more still. GM engineers, if you can't laugh at GM engineers, you can't laugh at me. Oh, wow. When you guys see this, you're going to be so excited about how easy this is going to be. It's like it's on an engine stand. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. Everything's coming up roses today, I'm telling you what. When you get older, hopefully you get craftier. That's something I'm working on really, because I'm really not very crafty. Some would say I'm stubborn. And once I decide I'm going to get something to work, I'm going to make it work. And I waste a lot of time doing it. There you go. The wires even came with new insulators too, which is cool. It's a good idea on these if you're going to do spark plugs to get the wires, because they often break. And you won't know till you try to put a spark plug socket on, it doesn't fit. And you're like, oh, it came off the end of the wire. You don't have to worry about firing order, right? 1 coil, 1 plug, pretty easy. It's actually not that hard. I'm making it look hard for entertainment value. That one came off. That's alright. You get the idea. Exhilarating. Oh, you know what? I got the spark plugs and wires up on my radiator support, but it's the end of the day anyway, so I don't mind. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. You know what I could even do? Get a power tool. Would that make me a bad person? I'm gonna get a power tool. Looks like original spark plugs, so probably a good idea to do spark plugs. That last one, I wouldn't use a universal on the new ones. We're getting the old ones out that we're replacing. No big deal. The impact definitely doesn't hurt anything. Matter of fact, those Ford Tritons that seize the spark plugs, the impact's the only way to get them out without them breaking as easy. Sometimes one or two will still break, but the impact, I saw a Ford tech do that one time in a video. He's like, oh yeah, just impact gun. I'm like, what? Ever since then, I've been using impact guns on a lot of spark plugs. Unless it's really high mileage and it could be lots of carbon on them, you gotta be careful, you could damage the threads. Sometimes then I'll just use a hand ratchet, break it loose, spray some Croil or similar, let it soak a little bit, then they'll come out usually. That's what we did with the Fords. It works on any vehicle that has carboned up spark plug threads. That's why they try to be careful. The combustion chamber and the spark plug are generally just like that. They don't, if it went like that, carbon would build up on those threads and it wouldn't want to come out. So, enough about that. I'm gonna try to get one side done tonight. Yeah, that's nice and easy. Now I can't even see this side. It's blocked by a bunch of hoses. And what I'll do, I'll put the spark plug boot side on first, facing the right way. Now, you feel it kind of click, click, going into the coil. One side's done, nice and easy. There's screws underneath this, so you don't have to take it all the way off. It just barely slips into it. You get these Torx back in there, and we're going to call it a day after that. One more to go and some brakes. It's like another 45 minutes worth of work tomorrow. I wish I could have filmed 100% of the day for you, but it's not productive for anybody, so I didn't. Ran around in circles, did about, it feels like about a 25-hour day. Hope you enjoyed it, got something from it. Torque the like button. I really appreciate your company. Hope I see you in another video. You're awesome.